Have you seen him, that little model?
Yeah, he's got great style. I noticed when he walked in, his boots.
No, and
his jacket.
Yeah,
He's got it going on.
Twirl for us.
Twirl for us.
Exactly. Model Garrett.
Yeah.
Come on in.
I know.
Love the jacket. You actually match my aesthetic so
we
well.
can get your jacket in there.
Yeah.
I know. Honestly, look at it. Even goes with the
I
pillow.
know, it really does.
You fit the aesthetic
We're
here.
kind of matching again.
Yeah, a little bit. We normally do.
Okay, here we go. We are back. What episode is this for?
I don't know. Welcome back to Sorry We're Cyrus. I lost count a long time
Seriously.
ago.
Yep, and welcome Taylor Krause.
Thanks for having me. Josemans-Krause now.
Josemans-Krause.
So you hyphenated the last name.
We did, and we both took the same last name. Yeah.
That is just so cool and modern.
We talked about it at length. Like, usually I would take his last name, or I didn't. If I kept my last name, it wouldn't be. Our kids would have different. So we're like, what's a compromise? And so we hyphenated it, and he took it too.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
Thanks.
I like that a
I'm
lot.
glad you guys
I
think it's
love
cool.
that.
I know.
I've actually have never heard of that before, which is, I mean,
I guess I haven't either.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of made that decision together. But yeah,
Well, I love that.
hopefully more people can do that too.
I know.
Totally.
It is smart.
Yeah.
I know. Well, unless you live under a rock, Taylor was on the most recent season of Love is Blind, which we've been binging. And I've been watching Love is Blind kind of since the first season.
Me too.
I've always loved it. And I'm always just so fascinated. I feel like it takes like a very self-confident person to go on that show. Like, I feel like you have to know yourself really well to be like up for something like that. So I would just love to hear from you, like what made you decide to want to apply for it, and kind of how did you prep yourself for the experience?
Well, I also watched Love is Blind from the first season, but I didn't know how big of a show it was going to be until like I went on and realized, oh, it's on Netflix. Oh, it's usually #1. Oh, that means millions of people also watch it. And like, for me, because they're recruiting in DC, they do it by city, by like the 4th or 5th person that was like, I think you should apply. I was like, I don't know if I should be offended by this. You guys think that I need to date on reality TV. But I gave it a shot, and I was like, I figured I'm not someone that's probably gonna do anything malicious or mean or weird. So I hoped that I would just learn something from the whole thing. I did not expect in a million years that I would meet my person from it. And that would be such a positive experience. So, I mean, going in, you do have to, I relied on myself a lot. Like, I really kept to myself. I was like, I want this experience to be my decision, not, you don't have your friends. Like, I don't have my mom to talk about like every guy I've ever dated, and like thinking about these things that I otherwise would have a lot of opinions on. So yeah, you do have to be pretty confident in like who you are as a person and what you want out of a life partner, because it's a really important choice.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, I have a lot of friends from the Bachelor franchise, and I know that cast, they talk to their producer a lot. Like, they each kind of have a producer, and that's kind of because you don't have a phone and can't talk to friends and family. Like, that's kind of who you vent to and talk through things with. Is it similar on Love is Blind, or are you just only talking to the girls like in the house?
No, you have a producer that is someone to lean on, but personally, I heard horror stories of people doing that, and so I was very skeptical of leaning on my producer at all. But like, after going through it and going all the way, and like, I'm never going to do anything that someone makes me do. Like, I'm only going to do things that I'm comfortable with and want to do. I did feel like my producer was there just to like listen to me. And I don't know, like, even the other girls, I really enjoy all of them, but we're still dating the same people.
Right.
Exactly.
So I really was like keeping it really, really tight.
Really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the play. When I always feel like, like a couple episodes in, I feel like the girls start to crack and it's like your curiosity gets the best of you and you like almost like you don't want to know, but you do. And so they start telling each other who they're
Totally.
seeing and they start to piss on their territory and stuff. And it always goes bad. I feel like it's
Always.
never the right choice.
It's so tempting though.
I
Like,
I know.
you see us with our little notebooks and you're like, people are going on dates and you're like, oh, is he with my guy? And like, that, and you start to catch feelings and it's really hard. But I, I stuck to knowing just who I was dating and putting up my blinders and waiting till I'm glad I did that. Some people don't have to do that and it works out for them, but I would have gotten crazy being like sitting next to this girl and we have to like talk about the guy that like I'm falling in love with and she's falling in love with.
That would be.
That sounds crazy.
It sounds horrible. I mean,
It doesn't sound fun. That's super weird.
It seems like that would be, I mean, like truly so hard. And especially to not have, like you said, like your mom or your real friends there to talk to. But I feel like you guys, like you kind of knew so fast.
At least it seemed that way.
That's what it felt like when I watched it.
Well, they do. Everyone like does get engaged on the same day. So it looks like we got engaged like on day 2, but we all go through the same process.
That makes sense.
And like for Garrett, I knew he was my person since day 1. You rank each other of who you want. And so he was mine since day 1. I wasn't his since day 1, but that's okay.
Men it takes them a minute, they're not as
you
evolved
figure
as
it
us.
out. I was slow to open up.
I felt like that also when watching it. I felt like he knew day 1 as well. So,
well, that's the magic of producing
Exactly.
and editing.
Yeah, I think once you kind of get to the middle, like the first couple conversations are probably like a little bit more topical compared to like, how do you want to raise your kids? Like, what would finances look like for us? Like those things that are like the more substantive things that you probably wouldn't talk about.
Right.
I mean, at least I didn't talk
In the
about
real
them
world.
on the first date.
right.
Yeah. It expedites everything for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there wasn't anyone else day 1 that you even felt like remote chemistry with?
There's probably like one other person that I felt immediate chemistry with, and that person was between like Garrett and I, but I always knew that there was something deeper and magnetic about Garrett. And I think it wasn't really ever a question if like it was him and me leaving this. Like I didn't, yeah. It gets clearer and clearer as time goes on and you're waiting and he's on dates with like other girls and it's like driving you nuts, and
Wow.
probably vice versa.
Yeah.
Was there anything he said specifically where you were like, all right, this is it. Like, this is game on. Like, I'm locked.
What's funny? I think we always meshed on like the fundamentals of we want to raise kids like in a value-based way. We're not very religious people. We're also from science backgrounds. Like those things always meshed, but like we got these weird cosmic signs when we're in the pods together. And like um this is also ridiculously ironic, but we have like disco. I don't know if you've seen like the earphones that we wear and listen to music sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I did see this.
And so you get to pick 5 songs that represent love to you.
Oh.
And any 5 songs in the entire world. And like this is before I even really took it super seriously. So you pick these songs like a while ago. And we both had Wasted on You by Morgan Wallen, which was
wow.
a coincidence. And then the other really weird one is that he had Wrecking Ball by Eric Church. And then I had Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. And I was like,
that is so wild.
And I was like, this is so weird. And then he was wearing like Chuck Converse like the same day that I was, and we're not obviously
You
you
didn't
can't
know,
see.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was just all these weird little things that I was like, I think this is either part of the simulation that I'm in or like, yeah, the universe saying like, you should really try this.
Wow.
I just cannot imagine doing this.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, truly.
So someone told me the other day that people are now like blindfolding themselves while watching the show up until like the couples actually get to see each other and then they'll take their blindfolds off. I kind of want to try it next
Okay,
season
that is fun.
just to see if like they would change my opinion of people to not see them because that's what these guys are doing, you know?
That's true.
I almost feel like Netflix needs to come up with some way for you to be able to watch the show that way,
That
right?
is
Like,
such a
You
good
sound like
idea.
little merch kids. Netflix.
I know, right?
Seriously.
Like, seriously, make some money on
But
that.
also they could do like some of those like the experimental what is it?
Experiment.
Where, like how oh, what's the show? Stranger Things. You go and you do an experiment. Maybe they could set up groups to do it and it would
Yeah.
catch on.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a fun idea.
I know. There's a lot of things you could do with it for sure.
Absolutely.
I know.
A
That's so
program in
fun.
every city. A Love is Blind. And
Literally.
Totally.
Like speed dating, but different.
Exactly.
I know.
blindfolded speed.
I pitched that show before.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I actually pitched a show called Speed Dating once before.
So did you watch Love is Blind the previous seasons?
I did, but like passively, like folding
Got
laundry. I never went to like watch parties or read all the articles on it. So
Mhm.
when I did it, I thought it was like, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a low key show. And then I got on and they tell you like all the numbers and the stats, and you talk to people and they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I was like, oh, what did I do? This is a bit bigger than I thought it was.
Huge show.
Yeah. Did you ever have like a favorite couple from any of the previous seasons?
I think like obviously Lauren and Cameron
Yeah,
are an
that's her fave too.
OG
Love.
one, and I'm trying to think of
And the Barnetts. We love them.
Oh yeah. Love the Barnett.
Alexa and her husband. I think are very like they seem like they have really great chemistry. Those are probably my top ones.
Yeah. Those are good
Lauren
ones.
and Cam were just too good.
Yeah. All right. Oh my goodness. There's just so many things I feel like I could ask.
Ask away.
Okay. Did you get super close with any of the girls or did you just kind of like keep to yourself the whole time?
I think I got along well with like all of the girls. The one girl that I got like the most close with was Ashley.
Okay.
Obviously, we both make it to the end,
Mhm.
and there's only one other woman in the world that knows exactly kind of what you went through, and so I think we really just like clicked through the entire process. I think she's a woman of values. I think she's very intelligent, emotionally intelligent, and strong, and so I really valued like her opinion throughout the process.
It seemed like she kind of knew from day one too.
Yep.
Like it kind of seemed like they were locked in on each other since the beginning.
They're disgustingly cute.
Yeah.
They're really like lovey-dovey, deep soul connection. Like
I
I could
loved them.
Uh-huh. I did too.
Yeah, she's gorgeous too.
she's like a stunning. Like when I look at her, it's like eye candy. It's just like she looks like a supermodel.
She
Mhm.
really does. She's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. It's funny, like, this is really the first season that I've watched where I felt like almost every single couple that chose to like propose and see each other all kind of matched up physically.
They did.
It was interesting. It's almost like everybody like fit really well together physically
agree.
to me,
I
which is
abs-
interesting.
I
No,
absolutely
that's a
agree.
good observation. I actually didn't really think about it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny.
Like, because sometimes I feel like that door opens and then they meet, and then it's like, oh, like.
yeah.
But I felt like everybody really did kind of.
Everyone seemed like a good match.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like the girl's so hot and the guy's such a dork.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, poor girl. You know, like I get the show is like, it's not about looks, but woof. But this
Wow.
one I really was like, everyone looks good together.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know. It's
when we're
interesting.
in Cabo, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have 6 weddings, guys. It's crazy. Like just really seeing how well everyone meshed and like looked
Mhm.
together. I genuinely thought we were all gonna make it to the altar. Which was
Wow.
naive of me. I clearly wasn't.
Yeah. The one that I really thought in the beginning was gonna go the full distance that didn't is it Marissa? Is that her name?
Marissa and Ramses?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And at first I was like, so
I
what?
know. I was so disappointed that they didn't go the whole way.
Yeah.
I was also really
Were you
shocked.
shocked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she also was a woman that like went the farthest, and like you're checking in with each other because these are your girls like through the process
Right.
of like,
And and they get what you're going through. 'Cause
yeah,
they're
and
doing the same thing.
every day she was like, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. So I feel like everyone felt pretty blindsided.
Mhm.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that was
I
so
know. I really
sad.
thought like at first, like when everybody got engaged, I was like, oh, they may be the strongest. Like they just seemed so stoked on each other.
They really did.
I don't know. It was that one threw me. Am cracking up at Hannah and her guy. Like
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't finished the entire season, but boy oh boy, I just watched the episode where she goes to his parents' house, and I it was the best television I've ever seen.
It's
Like
pretty great
him
television.
living in his parents' basement.
Oh,
Which we really glossed over in the first couple of episodes, but
Like, did he ever? I never heard him say like, "I live in my parents'
No.
basement." Did he tell her that beforehand?
I'm not sure about that part. I did date him for like quite a bit, and
Uh-huh.
it never came up.
He never told you that.
No.
I just like this 28-year-old dude is living in, and the best part was when she was like, "So where'd you live before this?" And he's like, "Upstairs." I was losing my mind.
That is
It
hilarious.
was incredible.
With the utmost sincerity. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
obviously.
To the point where I was like, this is a joke. Like he's putting on a show. Like this can't be real.
I feel like this is kind of normal today.
No, it's
in
not
today's
normal,
world.
Mother.
No,
What world are you living in?
I feel like don't I read
I love
a-
this for Tish that she's like, this is kind of normal.
No,
now.
I feel like in today's world, everything's so
No.
expensive that I've been reading that kids are staying home longer.
Yeah, Brandy, in this economy, it's
Oh my
I've been reading
gosh.
this.
We did not get this luxury. She was like 18. See you later.
yeah, it's,
Move it
that's
on
a good
out.
mom. Yeah. you
Ouch.
should-
But no, I have been. Not that I'm like making excuses for him, but I have been reading that.
Oh my gosh. Well, to me, I just like, and Hannah she was just taking digs at him left and right. It was so good. I was cracking up. It was honestly the best part of the show I'd seen
She
so
was
far.
taking digs at him a lot throughout.
It was too good.
but
He's like, okay. And just kind of took it.
yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
I know. He like didn't seem that embarrassed about it.
I
And I'm
know.
like, yo.
It was that one was crazy.
Yeah, it was
Well,
a
that
little
was the
nuts.
only one I felt.
Oh,
like
right
when-
away I knew. Like,
Yeah.
no, she's not into this.
Yeah,
No, I know.
and she was so insecure. I felt about him liking the way she looked
For sure.
and then like she
And then
you
they
could
met
just-
and she
the
was
whole-
like, oh.
yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fair. And like I can empathize with that, but like just say that.
Mhm.
Totally.
Don't belittle him over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I
you
know.
should
Yeah, yeah.
It was hard. Trust me, like I never thought that I was gonna feel bad for Nick D. Like going back
While
and
you were dating him,
watching
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be this like suave player,
Mhm,
like in
mhm.
it for the wrong reasons. Like
yeah.
but I really do feel like he fell in love with her and it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was. And I think I told Brandy, I just read somewhere where she said after she watched it back, she herself
Mm.
like admitted and realized how horribly she kind of talked to him and treated him.
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot with people that go on reality TV. There's always like one that watches it back and they're like, oh shit, I didn't realize I came off like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like a very good like teaching moment. Like you probably learned a lot about yourself watching it back. I don't know.
I agree. Not for us, like it's a great opportunity to watch your love story back. And you don't really get that opportunity. So if you don't end up with a person, it was great to see a lot of people in love figure out what they needed in a long-term partner that they probably have never really sat with and
Mhm.
figured out.
Totally.
And also learn some things about yourself that's keeping you from being a partner yourself. And so I hope she takes the roses, leaves the thorns, and finds her person from it.
Yeah, for sure. Did you guys watch it back together?
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Yeah.
Was there any moment watching it back that like either one of you guys were like so cringe about? Like, oh, I can't believe I did that or said that or anything that stood
I'm
out?
really trying to think. I mean, it's funny because maybe like the way you looked sometimes was like, someone get me a fucking bobby pin. Like, what's going on over there?
I thought you were slaying
Yeah,
every
we thought you were
look.
so cute. I know.
So
Because
good.
guys, I do feel like you see like in the beginning everybody is more dressed up and then you get comfortable, I'm sure, and it feels like you're just walking from the kitchen to the living room once you get a few days in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would get comfy real quick.
I would be real comfy. Yeah. No, there was one outfit you were in. I think I might even text you about it. And it was the red kind of corset
Oh, the, like, monochrome red outfit.
So good.
Ah, thank you, I
You look
appreciate it.
so pretty.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I can think of cringe, though, was Garrett's professing his love to me, and, like, I'm on the other side, and he was like, "I agree." And I was like, "Say something to this poor man that's a little bit more than
You're like,
that,
I'm so
Taylor."
romantic.
That is funny.
I agree.
I might have to go watch that back.
I agree.
That's really funny.
And I thought I killed it. Like, I was like, "Cool."
In the moment, you were like, "Ah, that was so romantic," and then you watch it back and you're like, "Oh."
Why did this man propose to me?
I love that. I know from what I saw, your parents at one point I saw where you said like your parents weren't thrilled about being on TV or being part of it.
Yeah.
I know your mom ended up being on camera, right?
Mhm. And
Yeah.
my dad.
And your dad did too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how did they handle that part of it and how do they feel now that it's all over?
So it's weird because it's my dad actually just has trauma with like news cameras because his
Mm.
brother like was tragically killed in a
Mm.
drunk driving
Mm.
accident and like news cameras were in his face during that time and so he was just weird about the cameras. Like
That's
it
fair,
wasn't so
yeah.
much being on TV and what people thought about him and he was like if I don't have to like I would prefer not to and so I wanted to protect him because
Totally.
we signed up for it. My
Sure.
parents didn't sign up for
Absolutely.
this, but your parents show up for you when like duty kind of calls in a way and they wanted
Mhm.
to be a part of that moment. And I I can't say what I would have done, but I don't think I would have done it without them
Yeah.
being supportive. It just wouldn't have been my wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And honestly, I think they both ended up like having a lot of fun and it ended up being a very positive experience for
That's
them.
amazing.
Yeah. Did they like Garrett right away when they met him?
um Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett's a very lovable person. I think on the show, my biggest thing that I wish there was more of was like his personality. He's very funny, very charismatic. Like when he meets people, it's like he's asking your name, he's going to remember it and he sees you. Like he is the salt of the earth person and you can't you can't replicate that. And so I think my parents are very intuitive people and they saw that right away. He flew across the country for 24 hours to like ask my dad for my hand in marriage,
Wow.
knowing that he could get a no,
Mm.
and like take them out to dinner. And so they really appreciated it, and like they pretty much saw right away like why I loved him and thought that this crazy idea was a good idea.
I
Yeah.
believe in love.
Oh, here we go.
Like when you know, you know. I feel like you do.
And it seems like such just like weird idiom, but like when you know, and I'm not a very conventional woman, and it shouldn't surprise me that this is the way that
This is
it
how it
was the
happened for you.
catalyst to, like, get me to the
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Is Garrett like your normal type or is he completely different from guys you've dated in the past?
Physically, he's a bit different. Usually,
Mhm.
I date, like, blonde guys. That's
Okay.
why my mom was like, "He's not your type." But when you talk to him, like, he is very intelligent and kind and respectful, and, like, that's more who I go for.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's so funny. Circling back to like you saying you wish you'd seen like had him have more like camera time showing his personality. I feel like the thing is like the good, nice, normal guys and girls, right?
Yep.
Usually don't get as much camera time because it's the train wrecks that they want
It's
to have
so
screen
true.
time because that's what people like to tune into, you know?
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is so crazy.
in the pods you get engaged. There's 7 of us. We know that there's only 5 of us going to Cabo.
Mhm.
And so Garrett and I kind of were like sitting there and like chit-chatting the last day. We're like, babe, we're really boring. We're
Yeah,
probably
like,
just
they might
gonna
not pick us. Yeah.
cut.
Wow.
And we just didn't think that we would even continue on. And like you hear the crazy stories. And I kind of sat there for a year just being like, okay, it's gonna be this like blip, we're not gonna and it I'm so glad that us being genuine, like, normal people got attention. I'm
Mhm.
still really shocked and processing it all, to be perfectly
Ho
honest.
Yeah.
who didn't go that got engaged? I know
Oh god.
Brittany
Leo, was that his
Brittany
name?
and Leo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
Uh-huh.
they added a couple, so 6 couples went to Cabo,
Yeah.
Mm.
but
Interesting.
Is Brittany and Leo the only 2 that didn't go?
mhm.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
You know what though? The part of it that doesn't make sense to me is they were the biggest train wreck, And I would almost think that
That's
they would think they were
true.
gonna get viewers from that.
That is true.
That's the only thing.
I really do think I thought that too with reality television, but for this show in particular, I really think that the substance is like trying to see people like
Like,
have
actually get
the
married,
authentic
yeah.
relationship and get married. Because if they just kept having train
That's
wreck after
true.
train wreck, I don't know if there's
show
so many
wouldn't
reality
last,
shows that would
probably.
be different or
That's
like
so
back then.
true.
Yeah.
And like Love is Blind is really the only one that I've consistently watched. I don't watch any other reality shows or reality dating shows. So, and I
Mhm.
think that's why I watch is
It's
if
genuine.
it is genuine. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
No
sure.
one gets cast into a villain. No one people cast themselves, like, to be
Yes.
perfectly honest, but,
Yeah.
I I had such a positive, great experience, obviously, but I know that's not always the case,
For
so
sure. Yeah, you got lucky.
I did.
Is there anything you learned about yourself during the experience?
I think I learned that I'm actually relatively chill, like, I really am a very patient person. I thought, because 'cause I'm not used to being in, like, entertainment world and, like, doing
Mhm.
production and things like that, and you're also working on your relationship with another person, so, yeah, maybe I should have been in, like, the CIA or something, just, like, how much patience I had with, like, the whole thing.
That's funny. Is there any advice you'd give to anybody looking for love?
I think the advice that I'd give, for someone looking for love is I know it's corny, but you really should be yourself and you should be respectful of your partner. I feel like I learned a lot about communication in the experience because men are people too. Um,
What a concept.
and we women and men, we think differently, we
Mhm.
communicate differently, and you and your partner are always going to have conflicts. And like there's a lot of moments that like I've had to get over myself, and like I do have an ego, like I do have parts of me that still need to be fixed, and like being able to be patient and like show up as myself and then like communicate that with my partner in a respectful way, like I knew that was like maybe a thing, but I didn't know how like integral it was to finding love. It's not the Disney princess movies that
Yeah.
I thought I'd
Right.
ride off into a
Yep.
sunset with my Prince Charming and he would no, it's work. Like you need
Mhm.
to show up as a partner every day. And that's what this whole like experience has really like slapped you in the face with.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I know. And then obviously your life has probably changed so much since the show aired. How long ago did you guys wrap filming?
A year ago.
A year. So did you basically have to hide your relationship for the past year?
We couldn't follow each other like a digital footprint,
Okay.
but we could
But like out in public, they didn't, they didn't care if you guys were seen out together or anything.
no,
I
it
guess because
just like
nobody would have even really known what they were looking for,
yeah,
right?
and there's probably other Love is Blind people out
Yeah,
there.
then people didn't know because the show wasn't on the
Yeah.
air.
You just can't like post photos together and like
Mhm.
I'll follow him back on Instagram like
Right.
tomorrow.
That is so funny.
He'd be like, "Babe, like I posted this story," and I'm like, "Oh, let me see," because like you just don't
Yeah.
follow each other.
And so what? You can't do that for how long?
Until the whole
So
season
the whole
airs,
season
right?
airs.
Is that what?
And
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are super fans out there that do kind of try to predict like who's going to be on the show, and they monitor your social media. And we were like, we want to keep this as much as of a surprise like
Yeah.
as possible,
yeah.
Yeah.
but that's really hard in a digital age.
For
But
sure.
yeah, we
I
did our
know.
best.
And fans
Maybe
are
I shouldn't have been a CIA
fans are
agent. I don't
such
know.
good sleuths. Like
They
it's
are.
freaking crazy.
Wait, has the reunion show aired?
It will have by the time this episode comes
Got
out,
it.
but it comes out this week, right?
Okay.
The second, yeah, and the
Yeah.
second lesson I got was that like if women ran the FBI, there would be no
Oh.
crime in this
Oh,
country.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
No.
It's so true.
It is true.
I know. Did either one of you guys have any exes come out of the woodwork and like cause any drama between you two?
Um, yes. I mean,
Oh,
not
wow.
in a bad way. I just think that we obviously got married or engaged in a couple of weeks, and like Garrett's ex during the show had reached out,
Mm,
and it's a weird thing, right? Like she doesn't know what's going on because like we've signed NDAs. Like
right.
well, obviously she doesn't know that. Maybe she knew him. I don't know, but like him reaching out, and a person that has been cheated on before. And when a guy reaches out to your man and like you just feel a certain type of way. And we were going to that reunion cast
Mm.
party where I'm in a fucking Halloween costume and like yeah, I burned that flapper costume after that night. And like we're flying to San Diego the next day at 6 a.m. to meet my parents. And like all of these things became a pressure cooker. And then so like reaching out caused a conflict there because there's a lot of things going on. But besides that, like I've not had any exes really reach out.
Mhm.
Garrett hasn't either. Or if like someone from her past has, like we're very transparent about it. And that'll be a new thing for our relationship to navigate is social media and
Right.
people
Totally.
reaching out. And like I think that obviously we're not even a year in to being married and just giving a lot of grace and trusting each other and being communicative and like jealousy it's an honest feeling, but we have to just be honest with each other about it and try to work through it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you guys will continue to be open about your relationship on social media and stuff, or do you feel like you'll try to pull it back and keep more of it private?
I think like most of the things that like should remain private will be private, but we are excited to share like the fun things that we do and
Mhm.
some of the honest things that we do. That's been the coolest part of this whole thing is like inspiring other people and seeing we had a fight on camera, but I thought it was healthy.
Mhm.
And I've gotten messages like, oh, this is something that's inspired me to communicate with my partner in a different way than I otherwise would have.
Mhm.
And it's it's easy to see relationships on TV that just seem like there's no conflict.
Yeah.
Right.
It's perfect. She's perfect, he's perfect, they're perfect. And like that just simply doesn't exist. And I think you're setting a false narrative for people to like not ever actually live
True.
up to.
Yeah.
For sure. Wow. Um, what is next for you? And do you have any either personal or professional projects on the horizon?
What's next for me? I think I need a vacation.
Bet.
I currently work in the policy space, but obviously being on a show and being I've gotten a lot of compliments about like my style and I've always loved fashion, but I've always been in the science world. So
Mhm.
it's cool to see what creative opportunities are going to come from it. And like every time I've been open to the universe, like and not had a plan, it's been incredible. So I'm excited to see where that takes me. And then Garrett and I are actually moving back to DC, ironically. And we're so excited. It's a really fun,
DC's a great city.
It really
I love
is.
it.
Yeah, I love it too.
so we're excited
Yeah.
for that. That's the next thing.
Amazing. Is Garrett done being on camera, or is he open to more entertainment world
Have you
adventures?
seen him, that little model?
Yeah,
Like,
he's got great style. I noticed when he walked in, his boots
I know, and
and
his
his jacket.
jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got it going on.
he's a fashionista. Our neighbors must think all the packages are for me, but they're
That is
Perfect.
so
twirl
funny.
for us.
Twirl for us.
Exactly. Model Garrett. Oh,
It's
yeah.
funny, like,
Look at how
I
hot he
didn't like,
is.
that's something else that
Joel,
I didn't
take off
really
your
see
shirt.
that side of him on the show. Maybe just because the guys are so, like, comfy in there. I don't know, like,
Okay, come and do. We need a.
I didn't know. Yeah, what's the best angle here,
Right
Kelsey?
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on in. I love it that he's here.
I know.
Love the jacket.
Do we need him to
You
sit?
actually match my aesthetic
Second,
so
so we
well.
can get your jacket in there.
Yeah,
I know, honestly, look at it, even goes with the
I
pillow.
know he really
You
does.
fit the
Oh,
aesthetic
yeah, we're
here.
kind of matching again.
They asked if we had stylists on the show because they were like, you guys are so coordinated the whole way through. I didn't even tell you about this, but yeah, somebody was like, did you guys like get matched? I was like, no, we just were in sync the whole time. It was really strange.
I felt like you guys were in sync the whole time.
Yeah.
That like for me, like just watching it as an outsider
Yeah.
and a viewer, like I the whole time just felt like you guys were like perfect. You would definitely get married. And I just felt like you all were for me, I felt like you guys were the strongest the whole way.
Mhm.
We were inseparable.
Yeah.
And
Then
took
and
it super
since then.
I
Yeah.
know. We hang out far too much.
I wasn't gonna say it. I'm glad you said it.
No, that's good. You guys, you got to know what you're signing up for.
Yeah. No, we
That's-
did. We felt really in sync. And you know, you hear about other couples and stuff and how they're like approaching it. And it just, I was like, I don't know what, I wouldn't do anything but like spend time with you during the show and then obviously after. But I mean, you're about to, you're supposed to get married in like a couple weeks. You're like, I need to spend more time with you. Like I couldn't get enough. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And we
that's
had
a
a
good thing.
blast.
Yeah.
I had so much
It
fun.
was, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see some little stuff here and there. I feel like our only serious conversations are the ones that they showed. And they showed a little bit of us like playing around, but it was like 95% us like laughing our asses off and like 5% have a serious conversation.
With our audio and production crew, like the cameras are jiggling.
Yeah. They'd have like the boom mic like coming down over your head and we just were having so much fun with it. We were having a blast.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Did you stay friends with any of the guys?
Yeah, they're all not all. You know, I mean, it's a subset of them, obviously, because the ones you make it furthest with, Tyler, Ramses, Nick, like these are the guys that you know you get closest to because you're all taking it. Obviously, there's a reason why they made it so far. Everyone's taking it very seriously, and so yeah, you really form like a bond with them, whether it's
Yeah.
a trauma bonding or whatever you want to call it, but. You do, and they are good people. You know, everyone gets a different edit, and people are gonna feel a certain way, but they
That's
are
true.
good people underneath the mask. And yeah, I'm got friends for life now.
We have this little game called What's the Tea? Basically, we just ask you questions. There's no stakes. It's kind of boring. It used to be called Truth or Toke, and if you didn't answer, you had to smoke weed. But we got rid of that 'cause my mom quit smoking weed, so you guys are off the hook. And
we're in California, baby.
let's see. I'll ask one. Were there any cast hookups or drama that never made it to air?
Cast hookups or drama. No, I think they wanted all the drama. They wanted all the drama. So if something was there, they would have grabbed it. But off camera, no.
Nothing that didn't make it that you were like,
no main characters. Like a lot of people who didn't really make it to the end hooked up. Sorry.
No, yeah, no, yeah. We said no main characters. Like I was like, oh, I see where you're going. Yeah.
Main
I mean,
cast.
There's other side shows, yeah. But what?
Next question.
Who was the biggest flirt in the pods?
I would say Nick D was the
That's what I
biggest
thought,
flirt.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, you got the Rico Suave. Yeah, yeah,
Totally.
it's got to be. Yeah.
I think like every girl that left that date was like, I am hardcore being played. Or
Oh my gosh.
you even saw like Katie and Hannah Katie and Marissa were telling Hannah like,
Yeah.
he's not a good choice. Do not do it.
Totally.
It's like, nah.
I know.
That is
Yeah,
so
she
funny.
definitely was not listening. What's something you'd only confess to your closest friends about the Love is Blind experience?
And confess it now.
And confess it now.
I would probably say that Garrett and I weren't initially really attracted to each other. I know.
Really?
Interesting.
Hold on. Initially, as in like at the reveal.
Right.
The reveal is not something you think it's supposed to be this beautiful, wonderful thing. It's it's shocking, is what
I'm
it is.
sure.
I
It's
think
like
it would be the most
lightning striking you for like 20 minutes.
1,000,000%.
And you walk out of there and you're disoriented and you're like, you forget what she looks like. It's crazy.
You can be like, this person's a good looking person. They're just not the person that
You pictured.
and you don't even really picture them. Your
Right.
brain just explodes.
I'm
Like, I can't-
sure. It seems awkward. It seems.
I know. Is it silent?
It's dead silent.
I would hate that.
Yeah.
And there's like 70 cameras and you're like, okay,
It's-
like
yeah.
we're gonna kiss right now.
You can
and-
hear your heart pounding and you're
I
just like you're just
bet.
exhausted emotionally afterwards. And then but as soon as you get to Cabo, I remember with the guys, here's one thing that didn't get on camera. You know, we're all talking about it. Like, how do you feel? I'm like, I kind of forgot what she looks like. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not into her. And then you get to Cabo, and then we met up with the cast for the first time at that first cast party. And Ramses and Tyler came to me like, you were tripping, bro. And I'm like, I know I'm tripping. Like, I don't know what happened.
You're like, I blacked out.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. But yeah, we were both way good after that.
I mean, it seems like you're just so. It's like I would just think you're just like in such shock.
Yeah.
And then like you said, like you don't.
It's a lot of
even remember.
pressure.
Yeah, and you start when I kissed you, it was really nice.
That was great,
It was
yeah.
great. I was like, I'll less words, just make out with you.
I always think it's so weird when they don't kiss.
I know.
You know, like right away. Because sometimes they don't. Sometimes like you can see one person like go in for the hug instead, like purposefully. And I'm always like, I feel like you guys should kiss no matter what, just to see like what the vibe is, you know?
They should really have the staff chanting kiss, kiss, kiss,
Yeah,
kiss.
see, like way better. That's so funny. This is a good one. Who is the craziest person that has slid into your DMs since the show?
She goes.
A lot of girls in there,
There are
Garrett.
some very brave women out there.
Wow,
Let's
there
just say
are.
that. So that's
Girls
about
are
as far.
shameless.
Listen,
Taylor's gonna make a quick announcement to them all.
I know jujitsu. I will learn jujitsu. For me, it's been Snooki.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was thinking like celebs that
That
watch it.
is fun.
How cool! And she was like, "I love you," and I was like, "Thank you for making reality television a thing." And it was
That is hilarious.
yeah, so it's very
He's a good
Snooki. That is
answer.
a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. You tell the host to stay out of the DMs. Like,
Almost said Snooki.
I told Garrett, I was like, "Send me their profiles." And
Literally.
he was like, "No, I don't. I think you
He's
can.
like,
I don't
"I'm
think that's a
good."
good idea."
I've blocked a lot of.
yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good man. Good
Yeah.
man.
So, what's the one thing that you've learned about Garrett that you love that fans don't know about?
What that mouth do? Garrett's really funny and witty. Like I don't think you and modest. Apparently.
So humble.
I don't think you see enough of it. I think you see little hints of it on the show.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But like to see it in full form, like around your friends and family and even like my friends and family, it's not fully shown
I
yet.
agree. Even like when he first came in today, like he was so personable and just like
It's like
I
a
don't.
warm hug.
Yeah, I don't think you saw that on the show. I don't think
know.
it came through as much on the show for sure.
Yeah, and it does break my heart that Garrett has been like getting comments of like you're not worthy. She could do better. Like weird things like that that like
People are awful.
they're awful and like we're I don't agree. Like I married you for a reason. I don't think
He's like, you better say that.
Just to clarify.
Just to But yeah, I wish people got to see more of that.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you did seem like very serious on there, which is a good thing.
It's a
Like
serious
I
thing,
would
yeah.
hope you would be serious. So
yeah.
like
True.
that's okay.
And
And
But
that was we were both like that in the ponds. Like we both
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
in the
you
first
guys
like 6
were.
episodes we were very like serious, and we even said that. I made a comment to Taylor at one point in the ponds like I don't know if we're like we're gonna have fun. You know what I mean? Like yes, they're extremely compatible like intellectually, emotionally, but can we have fun together? And Taylor was like, I think a little offended by that. She's like, what? Like, huh? So we got to Cabo, and that's what we just like committed to just
Kind of
having fun.
realistic.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. But yeah, I mean, it's this very serious thing. So
Yeah.
It's all
So good
good.
to be a little serious.
Yeah, you're literally meeting someone and getting married in 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Crazy.
What's crazy about that? What could possibly go wrong?
What's kind of not a what's the tea question. I just want to know: are you guys gonna have another wedding, or do you feel like that one was good? We're good.
We definitely want to have another wedding. We we honestly actually like weren't super committed to making that wedding the perfect wedding. We actually joked with production, we're like, can we have a Hawaiian themed wedding? And they're like, absolutely not. And we're like, fair. And so I think I cut my dress to be shorter.
I noticed that.
And a lot of people didn't like it, whatever. And they're like, very Vegas. And I was like, it was very Vegas.
Yeah, you're like-
Not the whole getting married in 2 weeks on reality television. And so I think we want to do a second one in a couple of years when like it's for our parents and our families and when we're not as stressed out. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I love our wedding. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Taylor, I know had a great time. I mean, everything about it was great though. I really wouldn't change anything about it going back. I mean, you have very little time to plan the whole thing. But now that we have more time, we can invite more family and even not only give ourselves, but give our parents more of the experience as well.
Sure.
Because I mean, we chose to do this, they didn't. And I think
Right.
that there's a little bit of like collateral damage of like you're taking some of that away from them, that experience of being there, being a part of it, getting to know Taylor, heading up to it, and then her parents getting to know me. So this is another opportunity for us to kind of recreate that and bring that back to the picture.
And weddings, in my opinion, have become a very commercial thing. I think that they've become this kind of thing that you have to live up to. And like it really deconstructed for me that the only things that really matter, like we're blessed that we had Netflix put on this amazing wedding. It was the perfect day for us, but all we had to worry about were like our vows, saying yes, and that the people that we really needed there to be there. So, and that's what a wedding really should be.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's great to know that you feel like the wedding was everything it should have been and everything you wanted.
Yeah, it had this layer of just excitement that like a lot of people I was never going to take you up there in front of like my family or parent like your parents and say no. You know,
I
we
think
were
it's crazy when people do that.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I
it's
think it's crazy.
awful.
I didn't want my mom to see me in a wedding dress if I wasn't
Ugh.
sure. Like,
I can understand. So the one moment there where I can like understand it is if you know you're gonna say no before that day, you're an idiot, you're an asshole. But if you still don't know, I mean, that should also tell you something. But if you think you
Yeah.
know, and then you get to that day and something hits you, and you're like, I don't know, then
Sure.
but still don't go to the altar. Maybe like, hey, pull her aside or whatever. At the end of the day, like this is a show, but like Taylor and I, like when there's still people. So I mean,
And someone
you don't have to go through with the theatrics. You can go up to her suite and say,
totally.
baby, I need to talk to you. I'm having a hard time here.
Uh-huh.
And you don't need to do the whole theatrics and performance of it all. So yeah.
I can't remember if it was last season. I can't remember it might have been last season where it was somebody I felt so sure.
Yeah, I know
And,
exactly who you're
and I
talking about.
cannot remember who it was.
I know who you're talking about,
But
though.
it was like shocking. And
Yeah.
you could tell that she was like so shocked that it
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
And like my heart, like I truly could feel it, the heartbreak.
It was the girl that had something like written on her dress or the veil or something.
oh,
right?
AD.
AD.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It was so awful.
yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you do that to someone?
I know.
Like someone that not only that, like, because I felt like he did care about her so much.
Yeah.
And like, how do you do that to someone that you care about at all
I
in
know,
front of the
because
world?
I do think it seemed like he knew before they walked up there that
absolutely
he was going to say no. And I just couldn't believe he embarrassed her like that. But
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you flip flop back and forth, and they only
Jeez.
show
Yeah.
the doubtful scenes. But for Garrett and me, it was like really important that we're checking in every
the same
hour.
page.
Yes.
Like we're writing vows, like we're writing we wrote letters to each other's parents on how we're going to take care of each
Right.
other. And like it was still a very meaningful, serious day. But like when all our guests didn't know that, they're like, oh my God, what are they going to say?
I
So when we all
know.
said yes, like it was lit. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was such a fun party.
That is so cool.
I love it.
What an amazing experience,
Yeah.
truly.
You can't even pay for that.
Okay, cool. All right, we have one last segment.
Okay.
It's called Dear MT, and it's where our stoners, our listeners, call in and ask for my mom's advice on things.
Nice.
They
But
do.
since you guys are here, you're more than welcome to also weigh in and give some
Nice.
advice.
Mama Tish has to
So-
say.
Yeah,
Get some wisdom.
The Mama Tish
Thanks.
advice. I know. So this one's just an email submission. It's from Megan.
Okay.
It says, "Hey guys, sorry I tried to take a video last night, but I was too high and it made 0 sense. My question is about my career. I have been a special education teacher for the past 10 years, and I love working with special needs kids. I went back to school to get my master's in visual impairment. I'm just on a serious struggle bus, finishing, but I'm done in May. It feels like the end is nowhere in sight, and I'm just questioning it now. And there are so many things about the school system that are just not okay for me. The people I work with are pretty much all women who just gossip, judge, and belittle you. I'm looking for advice on finishing school and any advice on how to know whether to stay in the schools or do something else. I also always had a huge passion in health and wellness and just helping people in general. Sorry if that was long. I love you guys so much, and I'm so excited you guys are back and better than ever."
That is a serious question.
It is a serious
Not
question.
heavy at all.
I mean, that was not well, first of all, that's amazing. And I love what she does. She kind of reminds me of my friend Missy, who has been a physical therapist with the elderly for so long and people with brain injuries. And I always am like, the people who do that always amaze me so much. So, I mean, I would want to encourage her to stay.
I know, that's kind of what I was
and
thinking.
continue doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And not allow other people to change her path, which seems like she's on such an amazing path and has already gone so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like kind of the statement that stands out to me is where she said there's so many things about the school system that aren't okay. To
Which I
me,
agree
that
with.
means like they need people like you.
Exactly.
You know?
I have a huge problem with the school system as
Oh, we
well.
know. We know.
But you're right. I think you do. Like if if we don't have people like
Yeah.
her to bring change,
Mhm.
then nothing changes.
Yeah.
So like,
It's not nice. I would say stand up for yourself when it comes to that. And also just like have a good support system outside of it, right?
Totally.
Like have some friends or family that have your back and that you can at least vent to when you deal with
Absolutely.
that part of it, I
Yeah.
think, is helpful and not feeling like you're just all alone in it.
Yeah. But because I do feel like, you know, it takes special people to do these types of jobs.
Mhm.
And I just think stick with it and,
Persevere.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. What do you guys think?
I empathize with her because I think your feelings are always valid. And
Totally.
to your point though, I do think that in my career there have been moments where I felt belittled or there's no room for me to grow. And people can only make you feel as if you allow them to.
For sure.
And so maybe that work environment isn't it. And there's another one that's accomplishing the same goal that she can be brave enough to go to. Like you've already
Mhm.
put in the work for going. We both have gone on to like get our master's degree and it's tough.
I'm
Like
sure.
Yeah.
so don't let those people let you put all that work for naught.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was saying is, I mean, it sounds like she's already put so much into it and that
Yeah.
she enjoys it
Yeah.
and to not allow other people to.
And if she likes health and wellness and fitness of what she's saying, I think now in this day and age, like for someone who's also been in a science field and put a lot of time into school, but being open to more creative outlets,
Mhm.
there's different chapters of us.
Yeah.
Like
That's so true.
not everyone has that 20-year career that they stay in, and we're kind of conditioned to be in this safe and secure path of life. Like
Mhm.
there's people nowadays that have like multiple careers in their
For sure.
lifetime. So
And culture is extremely important. So I mean, for me, I know going to different jobs, like the people are what make it enjoyable for me as well as the work.
It's
So I mean,
true.
ultimately, it's up to you to decide if this is the right culture for you and if you can maintain it. But like Taylor said, there's other opportunities too. So you can still find maybe a different outlet that's in the same direction that has a better culture that's more in line with what life experience you're looking for.
For sure. Well, I feel like that's the most helpful we've ever been for DRMT.
Seriously.
My gosh.
and we're not even stoned.
Right?
Exactly. We need y'all here for all the DMT.
I know. Well, that's all I've got for us.
Okay. Well, this was so fun.
What a fun episode. Thank you guys for coming on.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Surprise appearance.
I know. I'm so glad you came.
I wasn't ready. I'm glad I have clothes on.
The stoners would have been happy if you didn't.
I'm sure they
would.
would have.
Um,
Quickly, stoners, don't forget to send in your DRMTs for next week. You can send any submissions to sorrywe'recyrus@gmail.com.
Yes.
And just to wrap things up, is there anything you guys want to shout out or anything the stoners can look for you coming up next?
I think we're really excited to
Yeah.
like show our marriage and the fun, cool things that we're up to on Instagram. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, that's probably your best bet.
There you go.
So, what are your Instagrams?
No, you go first. You're way more entertaining.
Mine is Chinese disco baby.
Nice. I like that.
Love it.
Yeah, mine's Caucasian Fish Daddy. No, just kidding. No, it's not. No.
I so wish it was.
Someone take this man's phone. Don't follow us on Instagram. Don't follow us on Instagram.
No, mine's just my first name and last name, Garrett.Josemans. Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're just excited about doing stuff together, really. I mean, just.
You have to change that last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true.
True.
We
Yeah.
both do. Yeah, we have a
you
lot
do.
of paperwork to do.
I bet.
Honestly,
hear
it
all
is
about
not easy. I got married at how long ago did I get married?
A year?
And over a year. And
Yeah,
it's
2 years almost.
almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has been the hardest thing to get all of that done. I'm still working on it. So good
Cool,
luck.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. And stoners, we'll see you next week.
Bye, stoners.
See ya.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation and Hopetown Entertainment.